Greetings, ye scallywags. This is Pirate Percy coming at you live once again. This is the second take because the first time I forgot my helmet. Um, as of shooting this video, I just got back from a weekend at Port Clinton at the Pirate Festival. So things are in disarray and it is time to catch up on laundry and everything else. So I got gear and everything else to clean, but here I am talking to you because I wanted to let you know how this weekend went. I went on Friday evening to the port. No, let me back up. Friday evening first, I went to the Ohio Pirate Con there in Fremont, Ohio. Then I hopped over to the Port Clinton Pirate Festival. And then, of course, Saturday is where I spent my day at the Port Clinton Pirate Festival with no regrets. So let's just talk about the two a little bit. Let's talk about the goods, the bads, and all that good stuff in case you were wondering. This is the second year that Ohio Pirate Con was going on in Fremont. And this is the first year that the Port Clinton Pirate Festival was happening. Now, let's talk about the Fremont Pirate Con a little bit. When I went in, vendor-wise, vendors were scattered everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. When I went in, they did mention to me that there were vendors to the left right away. I had to walk in front of the buildings to get to them, and there were some down the way. Now, I went down the way first, so I went down, I passed some food trucks, and then as I passed the food trucks, they did have an axe throwing, but yeah, way over in the distance, there was one stage, and a little ways from that, down here in the corner, I know my arm doesn't show in the screen, so way down here in the corner was one vendor by themselves. Then you had to walk all the way back, which I say all the way, it was a ways. It wasn't horrible, but it was a ways. And then you went down a little bit, and then there was a building. I call it a medium-sized building, but it was full of vendors. So there were a lot of vendors in there, and I did see some I recognized, including, I believe, Crimson Leather. But it wasn't bad in there. I mean, it wasn't nice organized rows, but it wasn't horrible. It was manageable. It wasn't a massive building like the Expo Center and at the farm show or anything like that in Harrisburg, but you know, they had some in there. And really, that was it when it came to the vendors. When it comes to the vendors back up top, if I wanted to go back up there, I literally had to go back up to the gate and then go right. You could not see them through all the other buildings. There was no nice, neat path that went to them. There was no sign saying, hey, more vendors this way. And honestly, when you got to the shed up there, there was like 3 or 4 vendors and one blacksmith. So it was $8 to get in. So I paid $8 to see the vendors. I got myself a bison burger, which was good. It really was. They had a few food trucks. The big thing I think they had going for them on Friday night, I don't know if they did it Saturday, because I was going to Port Clinton for Pirates Creed on Saturday. There was no stopping that. But they had the Whiskey Witches entertaining for an extra $5 on Friday. I couldn't tell you their schedule for Saturday, but really, there was not much else there. So $8 to get in to see vendors, another $5 for going to see the Whiskey Witches. I think I need to slow down. I also am aware I'm running out of space on my phone, so work with me, people. Work with me. Anyhow, but yeah, their big thing was they had a band playing that night, but they were a cover band that played, I think, 70s and 80s for the most part. That's what it looked like judging by YouTube, because I will try to look things up before I go. But they were advertising them that they were a band dressed as pirates. So they were a cover band dressed as pirates, playing no pirate songs. I didn't stay for it. Maybe they broke out pirate songs. I wasn't there. Like I said, $8 to see the vendors, hardly anything. I wasn't impressed. I didn't want to see the Whiskey Witches, so I went straight to the Port Clinton Pirate Festival that night. Wasn't planning to, but I did. So I showed up Friday night, a lot better organized. Vendors were all in one place, lot of vendors, and it was free. The Port Clinton Pirate Festival was free, so you could just walk right in and have a good time. But you had your vendors all nice in a row. There was a kids area right in the beginning. They had Sprout. They had Garbage, the gambling goblin. For the kids, you went down a little bit more, which wasn't far. But you had all your vendors in a row. They were nice. They were neat. They were set up. All your vendors were in one spot over here. Then you had a stage off to the left. And guess what? Not a lot more vendors, but a few more vendors. But they were nice and together, and they weren't spread out all over the place. They were all in a row. There were a few vendors that I noticed from Great Lakes Medieval Fair that I got to talk to and harass a little bit. But, you know, it was great. They had a mermaid tank. They had a tent set up for the adult entertainment. And with adult entertainment at Pirate Festival, it just means lyrics that aren't suitable for little kids and that kind of stuff. But it was great. I enjoyed it. They had great entertainment the entire day. I won't lie. I saw the vendors, I got my food, and I stayed in the big adult tent all day because that's where the best, to me. Now they went around, but for me, that was the timeline that worked with the entertainers that I liked. They had one group that I didn't, but they were more comedic and for lack of better terms, to make it piratey, they didn't float my boat. But you know what? Other than that, it was great entertainment. I would do it all over again in the heartbeat. Of course, where I'm at, I drove 7-8 hours just to get to Port Clinton. So I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was a blast. Honestly, first year fair, and it ranks in the first or second spot of festivals that I've seen all year. It really does. I mean, it was up there. It might even be the best. I would probably put it number 1 because it was more piratey. Number 2 would be the Annapolis Irish Festival. And honestly, it just came down to organization and entertainment that I like. I saw Wakefire for the first time. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend looking them up. They had a t-shirt with a Kraken on it and a ship that I would show you, but I didn't think of it until just now, and it is in the dryer. Like I said, today's laundry cleanup day and catch-up day. But Port Clinton Pirate Festival, hands down, I would go to again. I would spend the money to get a hotel. I would go overnight. Pirates Creed made it just absolutely off the hook. Wakefire made it off the hook. I think it's the Motley Crue. They made it off the hook. The entertainment, I just cannot describe it. It was phenomenal. The whole day was great. And it's great. I was there with, and I don't know, people gravitate to me. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I'm more of an introvert. I really am. It took several people telling me, you should start your own YouTube channel for me to do this. But I was talking to a gentleman about photography. I know, interesting and very priority. But we were talking and he goes, he was maybe 50s, 60s, I would say. But he was talking to me and he goes, you know, I used to listen to sea shanties by myself and I didn't think anybody liked them. He goes, and I'm just sitting here and I look around and all these people are sitting here and they're all enjoying sea shanties. People, this is what it's about. Getting out there, meeting people, having fun, getting off your cell phones, getting off the technology, getting off your butts. That is why I always tell you guys to go out there, do something, go pillage, go plunder. Life's too short. You gotta enjoy it. But if you get a chance next year, check out the Port Clinton Pirate Festival. You can go over to the Ohio Pirate Con, check it out. Maybe it'll be better next year. I don't know. But Port Clinton Pirate Festival, I'll tell you what, this year was off the hook and was on fire. So, that's past. You missed it. But, you know what I'm going to tell you. Find something to do in your area. Ren fairs are starting to come up. Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair is going to start here shortly. The Ohio Renaissance Fair is starting Labor Day weekend. I think Spartan, New Jersey is going to be starting. I mean, there's a whole lot of Ren fairs in this area that's going to be beginning. Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. Is it Sterling that's going on right now, I believe? excuse me. There'll be one coming up in Delaware that my one friend is trying to get me to go to, which we'll see if we make it there or not. And of course, Maryland is starting up all around the same time. You know, if you live close to one of those things, go check them out. And you better get your tickets fast. That is one thing I will tell you about Ren fairs. Get your tickets fast because they will sell out eventually. And they've been selling out faster. But look on the renlist.com. See if there's something to do. Jump on Facebook. Get some Facebook groups going on. Join some Facebook groups with Ren fairs that you are interested in. Or pirate festivals that you are interested in. Or Viking festivals that you'll be interested in because it's getting colder. Those things might be coming up. I think Kentucky's Viking festival will be coming up at sometime. I don't know when though, but go check it out. And as always, you're free to leave something in the comment if you know things that are going on in your area. Put it in the comments so other people can see too. Maybe there's something we missed. You know, it's easy to do. Everyone's getting up and trying to do their own Renaissance fairs and this kind of stuff anymore. Put it in the comments. It might be a flop, but you don't know till you go and check it out, right? That's why I have this channel, to let you know. These are my thoughts on this fair. This is my thoughts on that fair. This is what I think of garb. This is what I think of apparel. I've been on here talking about pins already from Dr. Gus. My boots, I absolutely love them. Son of Sandler. Do you have to spend a lot of money to have fun? Absolutely not. Do you have to dress up to have fun? Absolutely not. We don't care. Just show up, go have fun, and as always, go pillage and go plunder.